Revelation 12:17. So the dragon was enraged with the woman, and went off to make war with the rest of her children, who keep the commandments of God, and hold to the testimony of Jesus. The devil is very angry with the Lord, so much so that he declared war against God's church. God's church reflects his true images, so, therefore, it follows his testimony, his word, and his commandments. Many who believe Jesus coming against, know the Bible talks about the mark of the beast, a second coming or rapture, and the Antichrist. No one really needs a Bible to know who or what the Antichrist, their identity is in the name, Antichrist. He tells that goes against God's word and doesn't reward anyone with life but death. John, who wrote the book of Revelation, gives the true identity of the Antichrist, and he doesn't twist a word or sugarcoat that would make people have a guessing game, or just trust random false teachings. 2 John 6-9. And this is love, that we walk according to his commandments. This is the commandment, just as you have heard from the beginning, that you are to walk in it. 7. For many deceivers have gone out into the world, those who do not acknowledge Jesus Christ as coming in the flesh. This is the deceiver and the Antichrist. 8. Watch yourselves, that you do not lose what we have accomplished, but that you may receive a full reward. 9. Anyone who goes too far, and does not remain in the teaching of Christ, does not have God. The one who remains in the teaching has both the Father and the Son. The Antichrist is anyone who deceives others, and who is even naive enough to deceive themselves. If loving God is walking and keeping his commandment, many churches and Christians believe and teach differently. They will say the commandments were nailed to the cross. Does these that from the time when Jesus gave up his spirit and die, that the Lord wants us to live in a state of anarchy? Many believe and teach that we live in an age of grace, and that grace overlooks God's commandment, but these churches or Christian don't really very boldly say disobedience is acceptable. Many Christians and churches are against murder, stealing, and lying. Some call abortion murder or homosexual sexual immorality, but what does the Bible tell God's children what sin is? James 2:10. For whoever keeps the whole law, yet stumbles in one point, has become guilty of all. 11. For he who said, "Do not commit adultery," also said, "Do not murder." Now if you do not commit adultery, but do murder, you have become a violator of the law. When the devil declares war on the Church of Christ, just like COVID-19 is a virus now, the Roman Empire felt like the followers of Christ were spreading a sickness. They treated them like outlaws of the empire, and many were executed, but people who saw Christians would rather die than give up their belief in Jesus, and would rather die in a very horrible way. The ancient world executed people. When Christian became an official religion, the Roman Empire slowly became the Holy Roman Empire, or as we now know, the Holy Roman Catholic Church. Many believe that because since Christianity was now acceptable, it would save God's church, and his children would suffer less or none at all. The so-called Holy Roman Catholic Church felt like God gave its leader, or head priest, the Pope, the authority to change God's commandments. The Roman Church put the first and second commandment together. The Sabbath commandment was moved to the third commandment, and the 10th commandment is broken into the 9th and 10 commandments. You can get Catholic's material, look books or magazine, and what I say is true. Since the first day of the week was already a day to remember the Sun God, and because there was a movement to make look less Jewish, the Sabbath was moved to Sunday, and called the Lord's Day instead of God's Sabbath. The book of Daniel chapter 7 says an evil power would be ruling power, and it would speak so boldly against the Holy One. The evil power will change God's law, and even times and times, like changing the Sabbath worship day to another time and day that the Lord never set apart or made holy. Daniel 7:25. And he will speak against the Most High and wear down the saints of the Highest One, and he will intend to make alterations in times and in law, and they will be handed over to him for a time, times, and half a time. The mark of the beast is all about worship. The commandments of God is his character, the testimony of Jesus, and they are given to his children to show us how to live in true love, peace, and harmony. God's character has never changed, and nor will it ever. Many churches have accepted the false sign of worship, and even say things, well, the Sabbath can be any day, or Jesus changed the Sabbath to Sunday 'cause he rises from the dead on that day. How many Christians and how many churches worldwide worship on a false day that was an official change on March 7, 321 by Constantine the Great, the founder of the Roman Catholic Church? Is the mark of the beast really that old, and do many already worship it and keep worshiping it cause it's part of the tradition and not biblical? If salvation and loving the Lord your true desire, do you want to worship the God of creation His way or some fake religious leader that wears a funny hat that looks like a dunce hat? God bless you all. Jesus Lord of Sabbath loves you, and so do I. Samuel H. Hebrews 4:2 For indeed we have had good news preached to us, just as they also did, but the word they heard did not benefit them, because they were not united with those who listened with faith. 3 For we who have believed enter that rest, just as He has said, As I swore in my anger, they certainly shall not enter my rest, although His works were finished from the foundation of the world. For He has said somewhere concerning the seventh day, and God rested on the seventh day from all His works. 5 And again in this passage, they certainly shall not enter my rest. 6 Therefore, since it remains for some to enter it, and those who previously had good news preached to them failed to enter because of disobedience,